Hello everyone, today's video is about what I got paid for sparring some of the biggest names in boxing. The most I got paid was Vladimir Klitschko. So I sparred Vladimir Klitschko in 2014 in Austria. So first of all, in terms of like where it was put up, it was like a mansion in the Alps. It was a beautiful, beautiful place. Probably the nicest place I've stayed, if not a little boring really. I was only there 5 days, but there was nowhere to go or nothing to do. The food, we had in the Sangalver Hotel, which is just an unbelievable place. The food was incredible. And on top of that, the payment was €1,500 a week. I was only there for 5 days, but they paid me in full as well. They could have probably paid me less, but they gave me the full 15. At the time I was supply teaching, and I think I might have been taking like €250, €300 a week home. So, you know, €1,500. I'm not sure what that equates to. Maybe, I don't know, a little less than £1,500. But yeah, it was a hell of a lot of money. And you know what? He had like, I think when I was there, maybe like 8 or 9 sparring partners. There was me, Kevin Johnson, Dylan White, Ismail Silak, the light heavyweight, the Russian, was he Russian? I think he was Russian, light heavyweight. I think a fella called Teslenko. There's about 10 of us, maybe 10. €1,500 a week. That's like 15 grand a week on sparring. You know, that's where the best. You know, the best preparation, putting all that money into the sparring. But you know, that's what the very best do. So yeah, I was there for 5 days, €300 a day. Yeah, just to be eating 5-star food and doing a few rounds with Klitschko, which I think did me the world of good. I thought it was a good experience to do many rounds, but it was very good for me. So yeah, that was the most I got paid. The second on this was Usyk. He gave me 2,000. I think it worked out at €2,000, I believe. But with Usyk, I think I might have sparred definitely north of 20 rounds, 20, 25, maybe a few more. We did do too many rounds on the first day. And that money's good, you know, like €1,000 a week I was over the moon with. But where we stayed, it was the worst. It was the worst environment, the worst. It was, I think it was the Ukraine Olympic training base, and I personally, it wasn't nice. You know, the food was poor. I was surviving on bread really, and then when I found this canteen on the second week, I'm surviving on bread and chocolate bars and crisps, and it weren't very good. You know, Usyk was one of the nicest fellas I've ever met in boxing, and they did pay me well, €2,000. That's what the video is about. But also, where we stayed, you know, it wasn't good. Another world heavyweight champion I sparred, Tyson Fury. I sparred Tyson first 2013, but I turned up to the gym looking for sparring. I then sparred him in 2014, when we was both trained by Peter, so there's no money exchange. You know, we're both in the gym, we're both trying to improve and got the same coach. I then started getting paid by him for sparring in 2018. When he came back, he's boxing, I sparred him for Sefri and Pianetta. That was at Ricky Hatton's gym. So it was a case that they'd asked me to come, and I would come over and spar, and I'd do like the first 2, 3, 4 rounds. You know, we'd move around. It was very rarely would it you know, would very rarely be going flat out, if ever. You know, some rounds were harder than others. It was never easy, but you know, we were mates, and it was kind of like, look, come over, do the first few rounds, you get something out of it yourself, and you know, and then he'd go on and spar other sparring partners, and you know, you could see he was putting a lot more in the shots, and the intensity would change. So, and I wasn't expecting to get paid for it, to be honest. I was happy to go over, help out, and you know, it was getting me out of the house, and I was getting some rounds. But he'd always pay me, you know, maybe between 100 and 150 quid a time. Could be 2, 3 times a week. So, you know, after petrol and that, I might make 300 quid a week sparring. and he went heavy duty. So really, I was quite happy with it, really. You know, paid with petrol. I'd always call it KFC on the way home. And, you know, I might end up with 60 quid in my pocket at a time. So for what it was, I was happy, really, because the sparring wasn't anything heavy duty. You know, I was helping a mate out, and I was getting a few quid, you know. So, well, it weren't loads of money, but it was, you know, it's nice to have to get something, you know. The next one, Anthony Joshua, I sparred from 2012 to end of 2015. I first sparred him for the Olympics. I was pestering Ron McCracken to let me spar, and we finally did. So, you know, he's in the Olympics, you know, and I'm at that point, I was doing all the assessments and stuff, so I weren't expecting to get paid. And you know what, I sparred for 3.5 years. I never expected any payment at all the whole time. I wasn't there for that. That wasn't what I was about when I was younger. Money wasn't really on my radar for what I was interested in. And then, like I said, things soured a little. Me and him used to get on great, to be honest. Me and Anthony Joshua got on really well, actually. Really hit it off, and we'd always have a laugh. He was a good fella. And then obviously we had a little bit of I think it soured a little bit when I started training with Tyson and friends with Tyson. And then as time had gone on, I started getting paid for sparring other boxers. And I'm starting to question, why has he never paid me, to be honest? And in my head, I'm thinking he took the piss out of me, yeah? I was sparring 2 or 3 times a week. At times I'm doing 6, 8, up to 10 rounds a time with him. I had a broken nose at one point for about a year. Is that Ron McCracken? Is that him? I'm not sure. Over time now, you know, I've realised I should be looking after myself. I should have been a little bit smarter. You know, I should have had someone, because a lot of the time I turn up on my own. I should have been smart, you know, it's no one's fault but my own. But yeah, I did think I deserved to get paid. It was professional boxing, but I didn't, and I'm over it now, to be honest. For a long time, I was a bit bitter about it. I felt like I'd give a hell of a lot of myself, and I didn't get what I deserved, but probably my fault, to be honest. Then moving on, they're the heavyweight champions I sparred. Other people I sparred, foreign trips, Artis Spielk, I sparred for 2 weeks in Poland. I got €800, I believe, for the 2 weeks. But for the 2 weeks, I stayed in a lovely hotel, actually. I stayed in Warsaw. The hotel was nice, the food was great. I was always picked up. I was picked up on time. And yeah, amazing, really. I had an amazing time in Poland. €800 for me at 22 was a hell of a lot of money as well. So no complaints about that. I then sparred Robert Helenius in Finland. The rate there was 500, I think €500 a week, which again at the time was a hell of a lot of money. And the sparring, you know, it definitely wasn't easy, but it weren't the hardest €500 I've ever earned. So I was quite happy with that. And then more like UK-based sparring. I sparred Dylan White a few times. He would always pay. I sparred him in Leicester, where I would just travel down. He would always pay me expenses and always pay me, you know, for sparring as well. I sparred him in London a few times, just stay in Barking. Always put me in a nice hotel, always pay me a few quid, no complaints at all. Come pick us up, me and the other sparring partners, take us for food, nice places. So yeah, he treated us really well. Sparred Enzo Macronelli in Cardiff. He always paid. I think it was £20 a round, which I was happy with at the time. I was only a young kid. So yeah, obviously it differs from camp to camp, and obviously Klitschko had millions and millions to work with, and you know, I've paid sparring partners, but obviously I'm not a millionaire, so I would pay him what I could afford. But yeah, there is money to be earned as a sparring partner, and I did earn very well as a sparring partner. But there were times where that money seemed to come easy, and there were times where, you know, there were definitely easier ways to make a living. But yeah, that's today's video. Thanks for watching.